Okay, Steve.
Yeah, I am Steve, all right? And this is Mitch, and this is on Mitch's phone, so that's why it's kind of starting off that way.
Yes.
Right? But, this whole thing started. What thing started? Well, the fact that Mitch and I are here, we've known each other
A week?
a week, but how did we get to know each other? Man, it's the craziest thing, okay? Because, maybe you don't know what I've been up to, maybe you don't know what I'm doing, but I'm being hired by the city of San Antonio to teach people how to restore wood windows. As a matter of fact, we're standing in a room right here where the first class I did last March, we went through and restored all 4 sets here behind me. And so that went pretty well in March. They called me back and said, hey, can you do a summertime series, June, July, and August? Well, of course, because that's what I want to do. I want to pass this stuff on. So the first time we did it, in June, we're like, you know what? Let's try one of those Airbnb things. And my wife, she's the one that does all the background stuff. She says, here, look at this one. This one looks pretty cool, and it was Mitch's place, And I was like, yeah, that does look pretty cool. It does look pretty cool. And but as is proper, she sent me a couple of comparisons to see if I would rather like this one, that one, or this one. And subtly within the same price range. Mitch's was the most expensive, but there's something about it that said,
Can I go for it?
I like this place. I didn't know his name was Mitch back then. It was just some Airbnb dude. And so anyway, she books it, and my wife says to me, I don't know, a few minutes later, an hour later, she goes, this guy knows you or something. He asked about Steve Quillian. I was like, what? Who is this guy? And so it turns out, my wife is telling me that apparently, somehow, magically, I don't have any idea what the statistical odds of this happening in the universe, but I just happened to book an Airbnb with the one guy in San Antonio, and really probably all of South Texas, maybe in all of Texas, and all of the southern United States that does this. But he just is, is in the middle of finishing up. Have you finished up? Almost. Creating this website to help people, to help teach people how to restore windows. How in the world does this happen?
Yeah, definitely universe looking out there. So pretty amazing.
Yeah, so this is Mitch, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how does, and so we're talking, and like, man, I mean, our conversation is just like in alignment. And he's got this fantastic website that he's put together, and I looked at it. He says, look at it, but I'm kind of nervous because because I teach this stuff. Like, dude, let me look at it. It's fine. Look at it. He's done a really great job at putting together a tutorial website on how to restore windows. And what we're trying to do is pass it on to the little people. And by little people, I mean to those individuals that
people like me when I was starting out.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, if you want, you want to like tell me how did it start out?
So, but yeah, following up what you said, like when you booked, I was like, I know what your name is, and like I follow you on Instagram and all this stuff. So I am a huge fan, and it was weird because I always was wanting to reach out to you, but I was like a little probably too nervous about it, just because like I am a lay person and you're a professional. But yeah, like I think totally are aligned on our goals here, which is to like restore windows. And my course basically goes kind of probably similar to your class, but looks at it from the perspective of someone like myself who, like, when I started out, I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know the stops could come off. I didn't know how to do the ropes. I didn't know how to do any of the pulleys. And like I had to kind of, if I'd known you before, it would have been great to reach out to you, but like I just kind of had to learn on my own. And so what I try to do on the website is just show people like this can be done. You can absolutely do it. It's not that hard, and you can like make yourself, I call it low budget window restoration, because you can do it really like quite cheaply, and then leave yourself enough money for when you get stuck, you can call in a professional. But basically our goal, I think both of our goal, is to help people, instead of ripping their windows out and replacing them with plastic junk, is to save like truly like this is a craft, and these things are beautiful. I think both of our goals is to like teach people how to save this stuff, and like also preserve the historic structure of all of our communities and neighborhoods. And that's like the whole point of it. And so, but also just like, how do you, if you're living there, like how do you get the window open? A very basic question that I didn't know when I first started. And so that's what I try to cover in the website. It was just like so cool to run into, because, as much as I know, like I still have a lot of questions. And I hope that we can start, partnering on some more ideas and stuff. And like, I'm really excited about it. So,
we're partnering. You see this?
Yeah.
We're trying to
just like
get the word out.
Yeah.
The one thing I would like for everybody to know is your website.
Oh yes. So my website is Low Budget Window Restoration. And it's kind of a joke when we first coming up with it, because the videos are low budget, but the goal was just to get the information out there. And as I say in the website, low budget video production, but the information is like totally gold. And it really will take you from step to step. I've got chapters all around. It's like a Mario Brothers game, and you can kind of jump to whatever instruction that you need, or you can just follow it through. And I'm trying to like map it out as best I can, because there are alternative different routes that you can go, but hopefully when you go into it, you'll be able to see that and it'll work for you. So that's kind of low budget window restoration. So
lowbudgetwindowrestoration.com.
Yeah, .com.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Those
Yeah.
are low budget windowrestoration.com.
Yeah. So and then we've got some other cool stuff on there. So we have a full tutorial course. That one is behind a paywall, so you pay a little bit of money, and that gives you a full course, and you have access to that for basically as long as you need it. Then I've got some free material on there, which is like how to get the windows open, how to just basic stuff like change out the ropes, to kind of get you going. I've got how to restore. I just go through the process of how I restored my front door. So it's like basic stuff, pretty basic, but some tutorial there. And then I've also got a whole course I'm developing on metal windows, like metal casement windows. And those are kind of a whole different beast than the wood windows, but on my house I had both, so I had to kind of learn both. And so the metal windows currently is not like a full restoration, but it's enough to like basically really beautify them and bring them back to life, and they really look amazing when they're done, just like the wood windows do. So the wood windows full course from A to Z, from even taking off the blinds or decorative pieces like that, all the way to the very finish of the final trim out and all that, and making it look beautiful. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. So the website name, lowbudgetwindowrestoration.com, was, when I saw that name, the first thing that rang out to me as I was looking at that was, this whole time I've been trying to show people that you can start to do this work for a very, very low upfront cost, very low.
Yep.
The tool investment that you need to just get started and get going and do pretty much an excellent job is not very high.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what you mean by low budget.
Yeah,
right?
So it's both a joke because of the video quality, but also it's like trying to teach people like this is low budget, and it's easy. Like once you learn it, this stuff is easy to do, and you can add so much equity to your house. You'll see on the website, you'll see pictures of my house where I started. It was really rough, it looked really bad. We got the house cheap. I had a lot of student loans, so we just had to get something. And then I didn't have the money to hire a professional, but I also knew I didn't want to pull out the windows. And it was because the guy selling me the house was like, be very careful with these windows because this is hand-blown glass or hand-rolled glass from 100 years ago. And I was like, what? It blew my mind. That was the first time I'd ever heard of that. And when I got the house, also all the windows were behind metal screens and bars. And then my first step was I took off the metal screens, and then I took off the bars and I cleaned them. First time in like probably 40 years these windows had been cleaned. And then I saw the shimmer of the wavy glass, and I was just like, this is so amazing. Like, I've got to bring these back to life, you know? So, but they were so like in bad shape, but that's what caused the snowball. So.
Well, it's really cool too, because I think a lot of people feel like you do, but they're intimidated with this idea that it's this functioning window. But it's actually designed for the lay person in mind to be able to work on.
Exactly.
And a lot of that knowledge has been lost. Some of it's buried, arguably.
Yeah.
And one of the other thing too I like about the name of the website, lowbudgetwindowrestoration.com, is that it kind of expresses that grassroots movement that is taking place, you know, among the people who have these older homes, because the general information about what they want to know with these windows just doesn't exist in formats other than, you know, what Mitch has done.
Yeah.
You know, I do YouTube videos on it all the time, and I've fantasized about doing something similar to what he's done, but guess what? Mitch has done it. All right. So what I would like for you to do is to go to his website, lowbudgetwindowrestoration.com, see what you think, sign up, and learn about the old windows yourself, because you know what? There's just not enough of us to go around, and if we're going to save this artisan trade, all right, it's going to take all of us working together and, you know, investing in each other and helping each other out and stuff like that. You know, grassroots movements, because I can promise you this, those corporate structures out there, they don't have the incentives to help people like us.
Exactly.
All right? So we got to help each other.
And I want to make sure that in, 20 years, it's not only just like wealthy neighborhoods that have these windows. I want it to be universal for everyone, and that's like the goal. So, I think it'll be really great. Wealthy neighborhoods are great too, but I think this is just trying to encourage everyone to get involved. So, yeah. So, and also like great part about meeting you is, I have. And what I try to show is like, I can get you 80% there. And that's really what we want for like the masses. But at points in time, you will need like a professional. And that's where like having you involved is so great, because, if you have issues, like I want you to be able to contact me, and like we can start like trying to help that way too. We are in the South, so these windows are Southern windows. And I know in the North, they are probably 90% similar, but there may be some little bit differences. So our goal, or at least my goal as it fleshes out, is to just get more geographies involved and really be able to help even more people. Like I don't know storm windows that well, and up
That's
north,
we're in San Antonio.
yeah, because I learned in the South.
Yeah.
So, but things that we face in the South is like mildew issues. So we know a little bit more about that, or I know a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like geography based, but for sure, if you live in the North, like this will help you too. So this is universal. So
Yeah, the fundamentals are all the same.
Yep. So
Well, cool.
Anyways, well, thanks for listening, and we really hope you enjoy the website.
Excellent.
All right, I'm gonna keep back over here.
I'm gonna play with this window because that's what I do. See, while he ends the video, I'm just gonna.
There we go. All right. See you later.